Everyone. How are you doing? How's it going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this world. If you have not joined me before, I'm Dr. Tony. This is my beautiful space, my beautiful community. I'm so grateful that you are here, my movers, my shakers, my action takers, my achievers, my influencers of change, my impact makers, all of you beautiful people that are here. So glad you are here. I so appreciate you. If you haven't connected with me or the group yet, don't be too shy. Take a moment to get a little bit comfortable, but you're not really going to get comfortable until you're willing to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Hey, Yolande, how are you? Let me know how you're doing. You're not really going to find your comfort until you step out of your comfort zone a little bit where you can see how capable you are. So please connect with one another in here. You might be surprised at the connections that you make, the inspiration that you receive, the support that you gain. So please don't hesitate to connect with me or connect with others in here. Be a support to each other, all right? So here's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about, which I often do, is the taboo topic of what it looks like to live a stressed out life, to live in chronic stress, to live in a state of overwhelm, to live burned out. Whatever word you resonate with, whatever it is, however you describe it, probably you don't talk about it much, and when you do, it's kind of like either as a martyr, like, oh, I sacrificed so much, right? Or as like a badge of honor of, yes, I'm so busy, gotta stay busy, right? And so what I want to offer to you is that there's something beneath that. If you're really feeling that stressed out that often, there's something beneath that, right? Is that really what you want? Is it really what you want? And if it's not, what do you want? So let's get clear. Let's get clear. And I've talked about this in here many times, and I'm going to talk about it more today. Let's get clear about what's going on and how it's showing up in your life, so you can feel that contrast and be clear if that's what you want or not. So I'm going to share some examples of what I see happening in people's lives, whether it's people I've worked with or people I've supported in a different capacity that's not professional. And let me know if you connect with any of it. And if you're not willing to speak out loud whether you connect with any of it, write it down and see, just be honest with yourself if you connect with any of it. And take note of what's coming up and what's feeling stressful for you. And the opposite, or just a shift away from that, and what would feel good for you to not be in this space, but to be here instead, to not have this experience, but to experience this instead. Get really clear with yourself, okay? Because you can't do anything about it unless you're willing to get clear. And that's why I want to have this conversation today. And so here are some examples. I've had many, many, many folks come to me with body aches, body pains, chronic fatigue, so exhausted. And myself, actually, I felt that way. I truly believed that I had a medical diagnosis that needed to be figured out, that needed to be treated, because I was that fatigued. I was like, there is something wrong with me. This cannot be all stress. I was convinced. I remember talking to one of my friends. This was several years ago now, but I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, listen, like, this cannot just be stress. Like, they're really, like, stress cannot do this. Like, my hair is falling out. I am exhausted. I am so irritated, and I am just annoyed that no one can figure out what is wrong with me. Something is wrong with me. I should not feel this way all the time. It was stress. It was stress. And I have so many people that talk to me about their body aches, their body pains, their headaches, their migraines, and they want a medical reason for it. And listen, I'm not a medical doctor. So I'm not going to give you some kind of, medical treatment plan or assessment. I'm not going to give that to you. That's outside of my zone, okay? But what I will say is, if you are chronically stressed, it is absolutely contributing to it. Body aches, headaches, migraines. I've had others that have come to me, their menstruation is messed up, because they've been that stressed, that their body is that tense that often, their hormones are thrown off, and their menstruation is screwed up. Their cycle is screwed up. Can you relate to any of that? I've had countless ones that have come to me struggling with sleep, Whether it's struggling with falling asleep, struggling with staying asleep, or struggling with the off and on sleep, this restlessness, like not able to get a restful sleep. Chronically stressed, struggling to sleep. Others who are so passionate about really being a present parent, and they're beating themselves up because they're so irritated with everything their child is doing. And they're so ashamed that they're irritated about it. And it's influencing their relationship with their children. I've also seen the same with partners. Passive aggressive. I'm so annoyed. I'm so stressed out. I cannot see a different perspective. Just, I don't understand what it is you don't get. Can you not see everything that's on my plate? Disconnect with their partner. And then they feel even more alone. I see behavior changes. I've seen it go both ways. I've seen behavior changes where eating patterns decrease, appetite decreases, and the opposite way, where the stresses feel so heavy that they're stress eating, and so they're eating more and more, unhealthier and unhealthier, feeling worse and worse in their body, creating more fatigue, more frustration, more self-esteem challenges, more relationship issues. I've seen lack of exercise and over-exercising to the point where they're putting all of their energy in exercise, and then they're pissed off when they're not getting the results that they want. But they're so chronically stressed, they're not tending to any other part of their wellness that needs to be tended to because they're so hardcore into the exercise. I've seen the same thing with spirituality. I'll just throw myself all into yoga, or I'll throw myself all into mindfulness, or I'll throw myself all into spirituality, not tending to the other pieces, the social, emotional, mental, right? Physical. And so then they're frustrated because they're like, I believe in this higher power. I feel connected to this higher power. I'm spending time every day. I feel disconnected, so I'm forcing myself to get more connected, and yet I still feel disconnected. And then there's the spiritual disconnect. Each of these pieces and how it shows up is important to identify in your life, not to beat yourself up about. But it's important to identify in your life so that you can choose to do something about it. So that you can give yourself permission to say, actually, no, I don't want that. I don't deserve that. I don't need that. And I don't need to settle for that. No. Because avoiding it and ignoring it or suppressing it or just saying, oh, no, it's okay, it'll get better. All of those softening things, it increases your tolerance for stress, which might sound good, but in reality, when you say, I'll just increase my tolerance for stress so I can handle more stress, I'm going to take on more stress. That isn't the remedy. You don't actually have to tolerate taking on more and more and more and more and more unnecessary stress. There is stress in life that will happen, that is necessary. And we do have to develop a level of maneuvering that, of tolerating and accepting that in a way that feels good to us without rattling us to the very core. But increasing our tolerance of stress just to say, actually, no, it's okay that I don't sleep 6 out of 7 nights. At least I get that one good night of sleep. Or no, it's okay that my period's messed up for now because I know it'll eventually come back. Or no, it's okay that like I'm having a hard time with exercise and eating right now. Like I'll figure that out later after I finish X, Y, and Z. Softening that and making that okay is saying, sure, I'll welcome more stress. Don't worry about this stress. I got it. I'm just going to welcome more, right? And I know that sounds a bit obnoxious, but I mean, let's think about that. Isn't that kind of what you're saying to yourself? I know I did. And I know so many clients I've supported have said that too. Like, oh, but that's just what it is, right? Or like, that's just what I have to deal with now, right? Or whatever, no one's going to understand anyway. So not going to go there. Hey, Kathy, how are you? Let me know how you're doing. So what I want to get on here and talk about today is your level of openness with yourself to say, as I'm nearing the end of 2019, and I'm thinking about how I want to experience my 2020, am I allowing myself to get excited and say, yes, I can experience life differently. Yes, I can experience balance, enjoy my life. Yes, I deserve more. Yes, it's okay to say that I deserve more. Yes, it's okay to welcome pleasure into my life. I don't have to pay the pain of passageway to get there. Are you wanting that in your 2020? And if you are, what is your openness? What is your willingness to say, this is what's happening right now? These are the signs of stress and distress and duress in my life that are infecting and impacting and influence so many factors in my life in so many ways that don't feel good to me, that I'm willing to call them out, and I'm willing to say, I no longer want this. And so I am going to actively choose to move out of these things and into these things that I do want, how I do want to experience my life, how I do want to show up in my life. And listen, this might sound like I'm creating something really complex and putting it into something simple. And the reality is that in some ways I am. It is complex, and yet the remedy is fairly simple, but it's not easy. I'm not going to tell you that this is like smooth street. It's not. But it feels good, and it is so worth it, and you are so worth it. If you are willing to step up and say, this is what's going on, I can see the stress in my life, in my relationships with my partner, or in my relationships with my children, or in my performance at work, or in my medical health, or in my physical health, or in my emotional health, because I'm always beating myself up and I never feel good about myself, and I'm always hard on myself, and I'm always doubting what I say, and I'm always doubting what I do, and I live in my head. I'm like a walking to-do list. If you're willing to point those things out and say, all right, these are the things, these are the way stress is showing up in my life, and actually I no longer choose that because I want different, and this is the different that I want, and this is why. If you're willing to say that, that is power right there. Because you're no longer willing to settle. You're no longer willing to stay where you're at and tolerate more and more and more and more stress, much of which is not necessary. So if you are ready for that, I commend you. I truly, truly do. Write it out. Heck, speak it out into a recorder, right? Don't hold on to it inside of you. Let it come out of you. It's okay to give yourself permission. I can't give you that permission. No one else can give you that permission. It is okay to give yourself permission to enjoy your life more, to experience pleasure, to put yourself first and care for your well-being, your holistic wellness. It is absolutely okay to do that. In fact, you will be a better you because of it. So if you are choosing to do that and you want my support with it, you absolutely can reach out to me. As always, I will always be here as a support to you. You connect with me, you let me know. We'll schedule a free call, we'll get on, we'll clarify what's going on, and I'll let you know if I can support you. If I can't, I'll point you in a different direction. But regardless of what you decide with that, the first step is your willingness to get clear. And you can use my clarity assessment that I created. I'm happy to pop that down in there for you. But you can also choose to do this on your own if you want to get clear. This is the way I'm seeing stress in my life. This is the way I want to experience my life. This is the discrepancy. And this is why I want to tackle that discrepancy, because I matter, because my purpose matters, because what I do matters, because my relationship matters, because my health matters, because I want to enjoy my life. And I want that for you. So if you want that too, I am here with you. I'm a support for you. I want to connect with you. And there are so many beautiful people in this community that want to connect with you and support you as well. Let's inspire one another. Let's welcome more people into this beautiful community. Let's allow it to grow, because the more power that's coming up through your core, through your foundation, from inside of you, that's fueling your purpose and allowing you to share your gifts with this world, the more rippling effects that we get to make in this world, which means we're making this world a better place. And I know you and I know that we need that right now, right? Yes. So here I am. I'll leave some links below if you want to connect. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Bye. See you later.